How you doing, YouTube? Silver Joker here. Well, the LCS is open in Cincinnati on the 12th, but I got a sneak preview. Franklin Street Coin opened early just for me, and I had a conversation with Phil, and I made a pretty sizable purchase. So if you guys are interested to see what things have been going on since he's been closed and his plans for the future, stick around and we'll talk about it.
Right now, the state has required businesses can do business, but by appointment only, and that's really to limit the amount of customers that are in the store at one time, I think. We will be opening full-time on the 12th, which is, the state's deadline that is the first day you're supposed to be open, but we have some requirements, of course, that we have to follow for everybody. But being open, I think, will also attract some sellers that didn't know that we were here to accommodate people, and that's really why we were here by appointment only, was to accommodate the sellers in case there was a need to sell something off to help get by. And we can always sell the things that we buy. I think it's more important to be here for people that need to sell. If they're if they've got silver or gold that they want to move and there's nobody to buy it, what's the point of having it?
Right. So did you do any business, or you do a lot of business? How was business during the lockdown?
We had appointments just about every day, and 2 or 3 people coming in and going. We've been picked up considerably this week, I think, because people with the anticipation that we're just about there for not just our store, obviously, but the entire community to start opening up. I think people are just anxious to get out, and if nothing else, just kind of spread their wings a little bit because they've been cooped up for so long.
Anything special you're doing for your opening, or are you gonna put the word out, or are you just gonna open the door?
We're just gonna open up. Yeah, put the open sign on, and it's been pretty well publicized that retail stores will be opening on the 12th here in Ohio. So I think that's partly the advertising that we need, and the people that have called, I've indicated the date that we'll be open. So I think after that, with various other stores opening, I think the assumption is that we'll be open too. So I'm not trying to do anything special in terms of notifying people.
$1 million question: you can have bullion, bullion to sell. Because I'm sure when people see this video, they're gonna flock down here to see what you got.
It's right now it's very sparse, and I think partly is because we have been closed. We haven't had really the walk-in traffic.
I'm going to take this bar today, of course. I'm
hungry.
During
the appointments process, and it was a nice pick. I like the Engelhard bars.
Oh, Engelhard bars are fantastic, and they are just so sought after. And this one's been cleaned, obviously, but like we said before, it doesn't really matter about bars like this. It's beautiful, no matter if it can be tarnished. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Engelhard, it doesn't matter what condition they're in. They're just beautiful, well sought after, solid investment bars. Very solid investment. And with it being 100 ounce, I like that.
Premiums have escalated over these last few months, and the spot price really hasn't followed the premium. So that tells me the world market is telling you that perhaps there's not a thing to worry about as far as silver and gold, but there is a panic buying mode right now that people think they have to get it. So, like I've said before, there's nothing wrong with sitting on the sidelines and watching for a while and just see.
It's hard. It's so hard to do, though. It's hard, especially when you're doing nothing else but sitting. I spent a lot of time online looking for deals, and I've come across a few decent deals, but for the most part, everything I bought had a premium. That's just the way it is, and my plan is to hopefully trade a lot of that real high premium stuff that I had to buy off. And I think Eagles are starting to be. When I say Eagles, I'm talking about the 2020 Eagles. They are Eagles out there. They got the random date Eagles, but I'm really looking for the 2020 Eagles is what I want more than anything else.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be a smart buy down the road. And
Yes.
the reason I say that is I've noticed that the U.S. Mint, and again, I don't know, I haven't read up on the U.S. Mint whether or not they've ceased production or they've, because of employees not coming in or whatever, but I know that the production is probably at least has slowed down, if not stopped, on the Silver Eagles, at least for now. Anytime you have a hiccup during the year of Silver Eagles, it usually dictates that year is a lower mintage year. And of course, with as many Eagle collectors as you have, anytime you have a year with a lower production number, it seems to keep the price up, not just in the year that they're being sold, but then thereafter, it becomes what we call a key year. Now, whether this will end up being that way, no one knows for sure. We're not even halfway through the year, so they might ramp up production, and this might be one of the highest production Eagles.
And, they got these different stimulus proposals out. The last one that we had was a $1,200 one. Now they got the one where they're going to back it with platinum. Have you heard anything about that?
No.
So here's how that's supposed to work. So the U.S. government is going to issue. So all this is just a proposal in Congress, and they're going to issue a $2,000 prepaid debit card for every American with an address, and they're going to give you $1,000 a month until the COVID virus is either eradicated or under some type of control. So that's the proposal. But they're not going to do it with the Fed. The federal government's not going to issue the money. It's going to be the Treasury. The Treasury's going to do it, and what they're going to do is they're going to create. I don't know. This is going to sound. They're going to create. Now, don't quote me on this. You have do your own research. But they're going to make 2 1-ounce platinum coins worth $1 trillion a piece, and that's what they're going to create those and give them that price. And then once all this thing is all done, then the federal government will buy the $2 trillion coins from the Treasury, and that's how they're going to pay for this stimulus thing.
I mean, talk about an instant collectible.
Now that's not new. That's not new. I think
I've heard that proposal.
That proposal was done before, but
a high denomination coin and just buy it. But
once you get past the laugh factor of just one coin worth $1 trillion, it kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense if you're going to do it that way. That way, there's no more new debt added to the economy, which I guess is the point. We have a pretty robust workforce in America. I mean, we have a workforce that works. We work, and it I guess personally, for me, what I see is just how fast we can get that workforce back into kick it back into production, back into getting back to producing and things again. That's going to be the key. How fast we can get that back to
because I believe people want to work.
Right,
It's not the
I
fact
believe
that
so
they,
too.
They don't want to not work. I think they do want to work. So I think the offering of having something available to them, I think, will benefit getting everybody back on.
But anyway, so you're going to be open. I think you said Monday.
We'll be open Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Tuesday, I'm actually flipping the open light on. But
Okay.
We'll be here Monday again, like we have been. But Tuesday is the official day.
Right.
In Ohio, here the retail stores can't open. We have to limit number of customers in the store by square footage and things like that. Some of the other issues that we are required, the employees are required to wear masks. The customers are not required, but it's completely voluntary if they want to, and that's fine. We have to wipe down just about everything in the store once an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and again, social distancing while there are multiple people in here. Other than that, that's pretty much the basic understanding that I have in terms of. We're gonna kind of put our toe in the water, test the water, because we're all coming out, or the retails are opening. There's we've got the hair salons opening next week. We've got restaurants opening next week. So we're finally starting to get back together. So time will tell whether or not that was, we'll look back and we'll say it was a good move or a bad move. But as a country, as a population, we need to make a move at some point. We just can't. You can't stay hidden. Where we need to retreat, and I think everybody understands that. We'll retreat again, and give it a little bit of a breather. But people have to be open to that at the same time.
Refocus and get right back at it. All right, Phil. Well, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be back again. I will. Gonna take this bar. No goal for me today. Not today. A lot of my viewers, they like this stuff here. These Krugerrands are pretty hot item right there. All right, like I would shake your hand, but you know we're supposed to be practicing we're not supposed to right now.
No, we won't.
So I appreciate that. And I'm gonna take this baby home. You gave it to me at a pretty decent price, and I appreciate that. You know, we're gonna be back to normal. Things are gonna come back to normal.
Yeah, there's no question we'll get back to normal. It's just the time frame, and I think everybody has to be diligent in terms of, you know, wanting to get back to normal.
Right.
And, you know, if you make the effort, and your neighbor makes the effort, and your employer makes the effort, everybody's working towards the same goal. You'd be surprised how fast you can achieve a goal when everybody works, you know, to the same way.
Right. All right. So this 100-ounce Engelhard bar here, Phil called me and said a guy brought it in to sell to him. He needed the cash. So Phil called me and said, look, I got this 100-ounce bar down here. Do you want it? I said, hey, man, when can I come get it? He said, look, we're not open until the 12th officially, but I can open for appointments only. So if you want to come down here, come get it. So I shot down there and picked up this bar. It's a 100-ounce Engelhard bar. You guys are familiar with these bars. It had some toning on there. You can tell, but somebody cleaned it. I actually would have preferred the toning on there, but you know, a lot of people like these shiny silver bars. But anyway, it's an Engelhard, so it doesn't matter what condition it's in. You know, these are very sought after bars. I'm just glad to get it. Put it in my stack. This is definitely one that's going to be in the stack and not for trade. But anyway, you know, just because you know, the sanctions are lifted or the restrictions are lifted doesn't mean that the virus is suddenly gone. So I think it's a good idea to continue to practice all those precautions that we have been practicing, you know, with the social distancing and the hand sanitizing, the masks and those kind of things, because, you know, we're kind of getting back to a normal, but let's maintain that normal. Let's not, you know, throw, you know, caution to the wind. Let's continue to, you know, proceed as if, you know, we can still get the virus, and that way we'll make sure that we don't. Anyway, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell. You'll be notified as soon as I put out another video. I'll be getting out to the coin stores now, and hopefully there'll be a couple of coin shows in our future this year, and I'll get to them as well. And, you know, we're going to go back to what we've been doing, how we've been running this channel. Anyway, let's keep this silver train rolling. Keep stacking. Peace.